America has truly an awesome history behind it that anyone should be proud of. And this is coming from a Canadian. It gets under my skin when people talk about America like it's some evil empire. It neglects all the truly great things America has done through its history for the world. Which leads me to believe people are either willfully ignoring all the good America has done or ignorant of all the good America has done. So here's a video of the top 10 great things America has done through its history. First up on the list is defeating the Nazis. One of the worst regimes in history was defeated by the United States and its allies. Before someone hops into chat and says, well, actually, it was the Soviets that defeated the Nazis, do note that the United States provided the Soviets with large portions of their equipment. By the end of the war, two-thirds of the Soviets' trucks were supplied by the United States, and over half of the explosives the Soviets used were supplied by the United States. The sheer quantity that the United States supplied was mind-boggling, often making up large percentage of the Soviets' total supplies. In addition to this, the United States opened up the Western Front, diverting significant portions of Axis men and personnel. The United States also played a pivotal role in cutting off resources and manufacturing capabilities. Ending slavery. Now, the United States has a dark history with slavery, but it must be remembered that everywhere in the world practiced slavery, and the United States was one of the first to end it. I just think they deserve a significant amount of credit for doing so. It did so at a very high cost in both blood and money. It must be noted that the United States, more Americans died during the Civil War than during World War II. In addition to that, lesser known is America's efforts to end slavery in Northern Africa with its defeat of the Barbary pirates. The Barbary pirates are noted for capturing between 1 and 1.2 million Europeans, throwing them into slavery. Many of the men became rowers on slave galleons, while the women became sex slaves, many going to become concubines in the Ottoman Empire. Next up on our list is stopping the spread of communism. Worse than the Nazi regime was the communist regimes. In terms of sheer death count and the amount of misery that they inflicted, they significantly outdid the Nazis. The United States was one of the primary adversaries in stopping the spread of communism around the world, preventing even more suffering. Communist regimes were often very authoritarian, top-heavy systems that cracked down on dissenters and suppressed free thought. They also destroyed local cultures. The United States fought the spread of communism at great personal cost to itself, involving itself in many costly wars, including the Vietnam and the Korean War. We would thank the United States for helping stop the spread of communism and preserving South Korea so we could have some K-pop. Technological innovation. The United States has been a powerhouse of technological innovation, unmatched by pretty much any other country. Sheer amount of new technology and innovations that have come out of the United States is mind-boggling. Below is a list of things the United States has created in its short history. Many of the things which I imagine you use daily. Scientific discoveries. The United States has been also a powerhouse in scientific innovation and scientific discoveries. Many of Nobel Prize winners, by portion, are from the United States. Many of the greatest universities in the world are also found in the United States. Science and many science exploration projects are funded by the United States. On screen are just some. The world's been transformed by the knowledge discovered by American citizens. I must thank the country which allowed these great innovators and thinkers to uncover one of the greatest mysteries of the universe. World trade. Now, this is something that many of us take for granted. But the United States is the primary maintainer of world trade. They police the shipping lanes and are ones who set up a global system which allows for the benefit of all. And they are the ones who often bear the brunt and cost of maintaining the system. Art and culture. From movies to TV shows to music, the United States dominates world culture. Many of our most precious childhood memories or greatest team moments have been made possible by artists from the United States. Rebuilding after World War II. After the devastation of World War II, many countries were in shambles. The United States was one of the few countries untouched by the war. And like most countries in this position, they would have just walked away as victors and enjoyed their newfound wealth. The United States took a different approach. It put significant money and resources into rebuilding many of the war-destroyed countries, including its former adversaries, such as Germany and Japan. This was unprecedented by the history and was turned out to be an incredibly successful policy. They were able to rebuild Europe, rebuild in Japan, which are now very strong allies of the United States today. Under the Marshall Plan alone, $13.3 billion was given in aid, which is approximately $150 billion today. It was given to 16 European nations between 1948 and 1951. Incredible amount of resources given both friends and enemies. World aid. The United States has a long history of providing aid whenever a major disaster strikes throughout the history of the United States. Even here in my local province of the city of Halifax, after the Halifax explosion, saw the almost entire city demolish. The United States was the first to step up and provide aid. Even today, we provide Boston with a Christmas tree to commemorate the generosity of the United States. Americans by far give the most aid in the world. In addition to this, they also provide a significant amount to curing and preventing diseases around the world. They've been one of the major killers throughout human history. No mass nuclear war. At the end of World War II, the United States was the only country that had nukes at its disposal. Similar countries in its position, they would have been tempted to try to just invade the entire world. But the United States did not do that. And even during the Cold War, the United States was able to restrain itself from entering a Cold War nuclear scenario with the Soviets. For that, thank you for not ending the world, United States. So in closing, I'm certainly glad the United States is part of our history. Thank you, United States, for all that you've done. Thanks for watching. God bless America.